You keep pretending, but deep down you know it's time. You've been avoiding it for years. The hard truth, the habits, the fears, the part of yourself you don't want to face. And now, it's catching up. This is the moment you can't ignore anymore. There comes a moment when you realize you're not struggling with life itself. You're struggling with the parts of you that you've been avoiding. Nietzsche said that a person becomes who they truly are only after confronting what they fear and resist. And you've been feeling this for a while. That quiet tension inside. The sense that something in your life isn't aligned. Not because things are bad on the outside, but because something unfinished is growing louder on the inside. You feel the repetition, the same habits, the same reactions, the same emotional loops that never lead anywhere new, because you've been hoping change would come without facing the real cause. Eventually, every person reaches a simple truth. You either keep living the same story, or you question the part of you that's been writing it. The conflict begins when you notice a strange tension inside yourself. A feeling that your life is being shaped by patterns you didn't consciously choose. It's not laziness or lack of discipline. It's the fear of disrupting the identity you've been carrying for years. Most people are not afraid of hardship. They're afraid of looking directly at themselves, because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. You know something in you is outdated, a belief, a habit, a way of coping, a version of yourself you created to survive a moment that has long passed. Yet, you hold on to it because it feels safer than stepping into the unknown. So you stay in this quiet battle. Part of you wanting more, and another part terrified of what more might demand from you. This is the conflict. Not noise from the outside world, but the silent war inside, between who you've been and the person you sense you're capable of becoming. Most people move through life without noticing the invisible forces shaping their choices. The habits they've carried, the fears they've ignored, the old beliefs they accepted as truth, all silently directing their days. Opportunities slip by because doubt whispers louder than courage. Relationships falter because old defenses prevent real connection. Dreams are postponed because comfort feels safer than growth. Beneath this quiet repetition, a tension exists. Subtle, almost imperceptible, but real. A sense that life could be different if only the patterns were questioned. And within that tension lies a rare possibility. A life that reflects your true potential, aligned with what you deeply desire. If you recognize it, confront what has held you back, and take the first step forward. There's a moment, subtle, but impossible to ignore, when you realize you're not just uncomfortable, you're outgrowing the person you used to be. It feels like restlessness, like impatience with your own excuses, like your mind quietly whispering, you can't keep living like this. This is the death of the old self, and it never happens in a dramatic explosion. It happens in small, private moments, when you can't pretend your habits are harmless anymore, when the same patterns you once relied on now feel heavy, when the life you built no longer matches who you're becoming. Carl Jung captured this perfectly. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That tension is the realization that your old self has been steering your life, and that you're finally ready to take the wheel. Transformation begins not when everything is perfect, but when staying the same becomes impossible. When you begin to outgrow your old self, it doesn't step aside easily. It pushes back. It questions your decisions. It wants to pull you back into comfort. This resistance isn't intuition. It's the past trying to maintain control. Growth doesn't feel exciting at first. It feels uncomfortable because it forces you to let go of the patterns that once protected you. The excuses, the coping behaviors, the identity you created to survive. Letting go of that identity can feel like a loss. Not because it was good for you, but because it was what you knew. And your mind will always try to keep what's familiar alive, even if it no longer serves your life today. What you're experiencing isn't fear of the future. It's the weight of leaving behind a version of yourself that can't move forward. The old self resists. It whispers doubt. It throws excuses in your path. It wants to keep you small. And yet, you move anyway. You start the project that's been haunting your mind. You take steps your old self refused. Small deliberate actions that feel invisible, but each one cracks open a new reality. You show up consistently, even when fear presses in, even when doubt screams. Every small, brave step compounds. Every act of courage proves that you are no longer held hostage by the past. Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Every hesitation, every excuse, every "I'll do it tomorrow," is time stolen from the life you could have. Each brave act reclaims what your old self tried to keep trapped: your potential, your freedom, your power to create a meaningful life. Transformation isn't a single moment. It lives in daily choices, repeated acts of courage, the small steps taken relentlessly, until one day you realize you are no longer the person you were yesterday. Consistency matters. Persistence matters. Repetition matters. It's the accumulation of these actions that finally breaks the old patterns and sets the new self in motion. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." It's not about waiting to feel ready. It's about acting, over and over, until your life embodies what you know is possible. The moment you take action, even in fear, the old self dies a little. And with every act, your true life begins to take shape. Start today. Do what your old self would have avoided. Face the discomfort. Take the first step. Watch how the smallest actions, repeated with courage, open doors your old self could never have imagined. Once you begin, there's no going back. Only forward. Only growth. Only your real life waiting to be lived. If this message reached you, keep moving forward. Follow for more reminders that help you evolve, heal, and stay grounded.